Hi, Lynsey. I'm home. Been trying to get comfortable and get set up to do this. I got my tea, super hot. Got my baking soda water. Got my magnesium oil spray. Got my melatonin. I have this really bright light in the corner because it's dark and I didn't, it didn't look good the way I had it before, and now it doesn't look good now, so it is what it is. Hi. Let me see what time it is there. London, 5:46 a.m. It's like my normal wake up time, unlike today. But I know you're probably sleeping. I hope you are. I hope you're sleeping real well and you're having really good dreams. I hope I'm visiting you in your dreams. So I went in back to work after that last break. I don't know if you've listened to the audio on that. I need to upload those two clips to Dropbox and give you the links, just like I'll probably do with this video. No, I'll put this on YouTube. Anyway, I went back in and had like an hour and 15 minutes to go, I think. So I'm facing, straightening right by the front door where you come in. And this guy walks in, pretty clean cut, good shape. And so I look at him, I'm like, how's it going? And he stops and he goes, well, if I don't take on my shame dynamics and I don't fall into all of my normal coping mechanisms, I'm doing pretty good. It looks right at me. So I was like, I got myself a live wire here. So we chatted. He was asking me if the night owls were coming in, the attic types. And I'm like, no, it's been really slow. Haven't seen anything like that tonight. And he ended up telling me that he's what do you call it? Substance abuse counselor. I mean, he was working, some kind of delivery service, so he whatever he's doing is not making enough money. But he told me that during the day he works with these guys and gals, and he was just laughing because he says he'll give them all these options. If you do the time, you get out and you don't have to be on parole, and he'll have like 20 of them lined up, and there's all these services waiting for them, and get their life back on track, and if they want to go through rehab, they can get that. And here in Boulder, basically, you end up, if you wanted to, if you're a homeless person living on the streets and you decide to get clean and go through the gauntlet of services, you end up with a house. You own a condo. I mean, it's not a palace, but they'll buy you one. You don't have to rent anymore. They get you a job. They get you all, food assistance and put you on. Anyway, so he was laughing because he said he's had this happen multiple times where he'll have information for each of these options, and he'll put it on our table. And he goes, they just take their arm and they just swipe them all out onto the floor, walk out, and go get drunk. So anyway, it was really interesting, the way he led that off. And you know, it is what it is. I've said that twice now. So that was interesting. Um, then I remembered kombucha, and so I went over to the corner where we have that. We have a cooler with all the natural juices and everything. So I made a picture of that for you. Trying to think if there was anybody else interesting that came in. There's like this regular dude who never talks who actually came over and asked me to do a price check for him. Better than nothing. Um, yeah, I don't know. I did a little phone work, um, answering incoming calls. I've done that for years, so that's easy. Anyway, that one guy was my highlight. He was a breath of fresh air. I was telling him, they come in, they're human beings like anybody else. We just talk, and he goes, "Yeah, partly." he was trying to. He's like an advocate, but he's like totally realistic, because the choices that the addicted mind makes um, are oftentimes self-destructive and destructive toward others. But just his way of coping, I liked. It was funny. So then it felt good to get off work. I was thinking about you constantly. Uh, I'm addicted to you. Does that count? mm, I think that counts as a good thing. Mint tea. No caffeine. I can't do that right now. I don't want to be up all night. I'm not like super tired. I'm not 100% drained. Just a little bit. Um, yeah, it just feels good to come home and know you don't have to work the next day. So you said that you woke up this morning, would have been yesterday for you, and the first thing you did was to give thanks to the universe and God for me. How loving is that? Lots. That's very loving. I'm thankful for you. All day long. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for how you're my mirror, my perfect reflection. I'm thankful for your compassion, your ability to pause and be objective, your precociousness, your playfulness, your sexiness, your love. I feel you right now. I am feeling you. Do you feel this? I hope I'm not waking you up. Oh, I feel you. Suddenly my insides just started glowing. I feel like I'm looking right at you and I'm holding your hands, staring into your eyes, feeling you. Recognizing you. being recognized by you. I want you too. I love you and I want you. I adore you. You are precious. I kept thinking of you playing with your new tarot deck, even if you weren't feeling them. You know, the Hierophant, I believe that's number 5, that corresponds with my master number from numerology. So whenever I see that, or whenever I pull that card, you know, it's my card. And of course, the Lovers speaks for itself. It means, it's just like what the I Ching told me over and over again, that our love prospers in alignment with our surrender to spirit, to the guidance of spirit. That came up over and over during my readings. You know, surrender to, or surrender from trying to control things according to what we think we want. It's better to, I don't want to use the word align. It's better to each of us devote ourselves to the inner guidance. And so I was thinking about that. You know, you pulled those 2 cards, and I was thinking how, you know, we keep saying again, we did it again. And we do it again over and over and over again. Something about going slow like this. Something about the way that we're going about this. I mean, tell me, maybe I'm just projecting. Maybe it's only me. I don't know. But I feel like it's almost like being blind. You develop other faculties, other senses, and it feels like we are connecting in ways that are outside the normal senses. We're coming into union on these deeper levels. That's what it feels like to me. And I feel like that's part of the reason why, you know, we keep saying things or typing things at the same time. Forever love. But lots of other things too. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's telling. You. I love you. When you see this tomorrow, when you wake up, just know that I've been loving you. This connection you're feeling right now when you see this, that I'm feeling, the forever connection. It's the real one. I love you so much. I wish I was there. I wish you were here. I am there. You are here. We're together. More and more. I love you so much it hurts. I gotta find that video. Gotta hope it's out there. Everything's out there. I'm sure I'll find it. It was so amazing. You were there when I woke up and you said, I got my running around done. I got my things done. I want to hang out with you. Yeah, you're the one. You're the one I want to spend my time with. I was thinking, as I was thinking about you through my entire shift, I remember what you said about you couldn't be around me if I was wearing fragrances, which I don't, thank goodness. And that just made me think, well, as good as you would be working, something similar to what I'm doing, you probably couldn't do it because there's so many fragrances everywhere. We have like a soap bar section, and every time I walk by it, it's almost like my nose hairs burn because there's so many competing potent, detergent type smells. They make them supposedly smell good. They have different flavors, but some of them are like intense. Like eucalyptus and tea tree and patchouli and all these like really intense essential oils, and they all mingle together, and it feels like it smells like burning chemicals to me a little bit. Like I catch that whiff, and I was thinking, man, if Lynsey had to be around this, I'm sure it wouldn't work, too much. And then on that same aisle, there's all the kind of like makeup and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fragrances there. So that probably wouldn't work too well. And then that made me look at, like my Dr. Bronner's is peppermint. And I do have a eucalyptus and tea tree version. But they make one that is scentless, doesn't have any scent. And our store brand one also has one that has no scent. We put that one in the baby section because, but we also have it with the rest of them. And then that made me think of, what I told you last night in a text, that and also I think I talked about it in a clip, that I've never, since I was a kid, I've never really been um, overly attached to things. I remember I wanted a bike maybe when I was like 6 or something, 5. Might have got my first bike. I got a pogo stick when I was 7. I was really proud of. All the kids in the neighborhood, we'd have contests to see how many times you could jump. That was so dumb. My friend Craig and I were the only ones left standing, and our moms called us into dinner before we could finish the contest. We're like on 700. Doing, doing. I've been going doing, doing for the rest of my life. I never stopped. Oh, God. But yeah, honestly, I figured out really early that things are transient. I enjoyed my record collection, played the hell out of those. Before I started with 8-track tapes. I used to make mixtapes by like recording radio shows. You could get whole albums off of the radio back then. On late night FM radio. There was a radio station right down the block, and we would get, when I was in high school, we would get some beer and a bag of weed and go over there and bang on the window and, free bird, tell the guy to play Leonard Skinner live or something, and he'd put the side on and come out and smoke and drink with us. Oh, God. So good. Hot summer night. So good. But like those were the things I valued, were my friends, spending time together, talking. It's the same thing now as it was then. They all had abusive families. That's why they were out running around the streets. And they needed somebody to talk to, so, I was that guy. I was the brother. But I didn't, I never really, and I know you're the same, I could see all the way along that things come and go. Don't get so attached to them. Your car is going to eventually break down. Everything breaks down. How many computers have I had in this just in the last 30 years, 25 years, 30 years? A lot. Things break down. You find out, oh, I can easily start over. I didn't really need that shit anyway. I was never going to read those 5,000 books or whatever that I had to get rid of for the divorce. Who lives that long to read that many books? So dumb. So, yeah, I'm asking myself that, okay, is there anything that I'm attached to so much, that I couldn't give it up? And then here's Lynsey, who probably has a lot of restrictions. In fact, I know you do because you've told me, around the house. Allergies and, reactions and you think, environmental stuff that you've figured out over time that, if they're not there, it's one less thing you have to worry about, hurting you. So what is there anything Oh my god, I must have my incense. No. Fucking, in fact, I hate it in it nowadays. You know, it's not good to breathe. Um, like I said, I'm down. I have one bottle, or now I have two, but one bottle of essential oils that I probably had for 10, 12 years at this point. You know, yeah. I already don't use fragrance stuff to put on my body. So, anyway, you said it would be a pain in the ass to live with you. And I don't know that I see it that way. Um, the pain in the ass part, I know it would be a lot of adjusting probably, but I know this is all in the realm of the hypothetical, granted, but just telling you what's been bouncing around in my head ever since that. Finally, this is cool enough to sip. I know how to ramble. I know how to go on and on and on. But I don't want to make this too long. Worst thing, like, I'll wake up and you're like, oh, I just started watching your video. I'll see you in half an hour, 45 minutes or whatever. Ah! Oh, too funny. Did you just see that? The screensaver went on for some reason. It was weird. Kind of. Okay. It's not that. That is really weird. Blocking. Can you see this on the screen? I don't think so. Okay, why do I have that on there? I don't know that I want that on there. Apply. Okay. Okay. So I have this one light on, and it's attracting all the moths and whatever bugs are in here. We're definitely into summertime now. That's the one thing I like about the cold weather is there's no bugs. I love you so much it hurts. Yeah, I'm gonna find that. I know before, when things were bad or would get bad, they were good sometimes and they suck shit at other times. Back in those days, the B6 toxicity days and the trauma reactivity on both, from me, um, narcissistic behavior in defending myself, blah, 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 all that. Back in those times, I remember thinking how I really feel about you. And how it hasn't really, I mean, it's the way I feel now. I knew I felt that way then. That's why it was so difficult, because I did feel this way. And I was thinking how I couldn't really express it as much or the way I would want to, because I was afraid of getting hurt. I was afraid of getting tangled up in some dynamic that was not not my expression, not what I was wanting to express. And so that's part of what, since our reconnection, which has been going on for a good while now, good while, since our reconnection, and I mean, I'm only speaking for me. I think it's probably similar for you, maybe. But that fear of getting hurt, you know, I don't I don't attach it to you. I don't I don't think of you in that way. And now, it's getting to this point where, I feel so free and natural to tell you how I feel and to tell you what I want, or, I want you, I want us. Um, the the threat feeling has dissipated so much. And I was thinking how it, there is still some fear. I'd be lying if I said there wasn't. There's still fear, but I don't really connect it to you. And every time we have, an episode where one or the other or both of us are triggered, um, and the cutting off doesn't happen. In fact, the opposite happens. There's this reassurance and reaffirmation that actually I end up feeling closer to you as we move through it, more intimate, more trusting, more sure, in my heart and soul. This is different. This is not something that I've ever experienced. The growing closeness through the difficulties, I didn't think that was possible. Fuck no. It has not been my experience. And it's, my own wounds, my own lack of skill down through the years absolutely contributed to the dynamic and relationship that led to disintegration instead of growth and more closeness. So I would love for this to keep happening. Speaking for me, I mean, what I'm talking about is like a really big part of why I can't get enough of you, which is also different because in the past, the I couldn't get enough of whoever was based on validation and approval, codependency, those kinds of things. And here it's more like, oh, I love this feeling of like investigating below the surface and being real. This is what it's like to be real and not have things fall apart, or not be abandoned, or not be betrayed, or not be hurt. This is what that's like. To investigate the owies without fear that it's going to go into a dark hole. That's different. Be interested to hear what you think on that one. I love you so much. I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to make this too long. Maybe I'll make you long ones now that I'm starting these again. I'm just talking to you. I'm decompressing after work with my baby, with my love, my sweetheart. I want to find that video. I love you so much it hurts. Scottish. You know, Hawkins is an English name. I'm thinking of asking my sister to send me, because she's doing the family tree. I want to find out where. I know one of them was Irish that I had no idea we had Irish. We had all these Revolutionary War. Have I told you all this? She's been sending me stuff. She's doing the family tree. You know, the what do you call that? The genetic tracing. And she's sending me all this stuff, like distant family connections that we don't even know about. You know, branches that are like we lost track of 150 years ago or whatever. Well, they're posting all of these like old newspaper articles and book chapters and journal entries and announcements, you know, birth, death, blah blah blah, of my distant relatives who came from, you know, the UK, England, Scotland, Ireland. I don't know about any Welsh, who knows, who ended up in South Carolina, the state of South Carolina, and that's the one I remember. And they were all involved in the Revolutionary War, you know, the war of our independence from the crown. And so that goes back to the late 1500s. So I want to know from Beth, like, well, where did they come from? Like, what part of England? Because if I come visit you sometime, if/when, it would be so cool to be able to go visit the places that my ancestors came from. I would love that. Would love to have a native help me, you know, guide me, help me figure out how to do that. So I thought of that, sharing that with you. Hope that's okay. I have English, French, German. My Nana had a lot. Oh, I learned something else too. There was another, maybe Spain. I got to go back and look at all that stuff. There's another one that surfaced here recently that I didn't know about, another nationality. And then my mom's side is Scandinavian, 100%. Her father was Swedish, and her mother was Norwegian. My grandma, on my mom's side, Helen, her maiden name is Hanson, 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 and her father was Captain Anderson, or Captain Hanson, and they didn't say captain, they said Cap Anson. And he went to sea at age 13, and they ended up in San Francisco, in the San Francisco Bay Area. And that's where both my grandmother and grandfather, you know, met. And so I have a whole bunch of family in the Bay Area, and they're all Scandinavian. Some of them go back to the old country like every year. It's pretty cool. I've never been. I would love to. Fuck. Would love to go to Sweden and Norway, and I'd like to go to Finland, Iceland, Denmark. But my name is English. But I'm a Californian. Everybody thinks, you know, London is the center of the universe, but anybody who was born and raised in California knows it's like L.A. and San Francisco and San Diego. And I'm only, I'm teasing because it's all in the Californian's head. Everybody else hates it. Everybody else hates Californians. Get the hell out of here. You're raising all our prices. Californians are like uniformly detested outside of California. But if you're from California, you think that everybody loves you. It's hilarious. Although it is a really amazing place, I gotta say. If you could just get the 40 million people out of there, cut it down to about 10, it would be heaven on earth. Like when I was a kid. Like that. Anyway. There's a reason I don't live there anymore. Several. Lots. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a video. Because we are at 42 minutes and it's getting long. So I love you. I love chatting with you. Looking forward to actually chatting with you. But it's okay because I am a patient man and I'm totally in love with you. I adore you. Talk to you soon. Okay.